Hello, everyone. It is me, Keith, the laughing Vulcan of pizza pop culture. I'm going to give this one a go on my own. Went and saw Tenet last night in IMAX at my local AMC. We are allowed in the theater here in the state of Connect the Dots, USA. So, some quick thoughts about Tenet, spoiler free here. It's big, it's loud, it is amazing to look at. It's quite a spectacle of a film. That said, let's just get into some of the talking points. The film starts out with a bang. Really well done, amazingly crafted opening sequence that just completely grabs you by the nuts and squeezes, brings you in, takes place in an opera house, and we are off and running. We're following our main character, played by John David Washington, known only as the protagonist. He is known as the protagonist. We never get a name. So it right there, you know, we want to identify with this guy, right? And we really like him as we go along with him throughout the film. However, we just never learn his name, which kind of keeps us at an arm's length here. I mean, I get that this is espionage. It's kind of a James Bond type of a film, but it would be nice if we could at least know the guy's first name, maybe to help identify with him. He then goes to a lab, and we find out that there's a little bit of time shenanigans taking place here. Something they call the inversion in the film, and that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm not giving anything away by telling you this. So now we have to find out how this inversion has occurred, who's responsible for it, and we are off and running with our story. He meets up with Robert Pattinson, Neil, another secret agent, who seems to know quite a bit about our friend here, the protagonist. And he's claiming that it's all from file research and whatnot. But they start working together to figure out how to stop this inversion crime, which is going to create this apocalyptic end of the world type event at some point. So they find out now from Michael Caine where to go, and they get some assistance from their pal Mahir, played by Himesh Patel. Very likable character. Not enough of him in the film. I would have loved to see more of him. Kind of lightens the mood a little bit. This film doesn't have too many of those comedic moments. So when they land, they're very refreshing to kind of take some of the tension and stress off you, because this movie, the pacing goes at about 150 miles an hour. And that's one of my complaints, actually, is that the dialogue scenes that are supposed to help fill in the blanks and, you know, help with our confusion as an audience are often, they feel truncated and choppy. Some of the sentences, you know, it's quickly edited, and they don't, it seems like each character speaks one sentence at a time. They don't elaborate on their thoughts much. They just make a statement, and it cuts to the next person who makes a statement, and back and forth and back and forth. And it really, it takes a while for your brain to process, to keep up when it's chopping that fast, and they're just only saying a couple words each. I found that a little irritating, most specifically in the scene in the lab in the beginning, where he learns about the inversion. It's just quick techno babble between the two of them, and it's very difficult to follow. And I thought it was just me, but the person I was with also had the same problems. So anyway, Mahir is going to help them create a huge distraction by crashing a plane, and this was an amazing sequence. Along with the opening sequence, what I love about Christopher Nolan films is there's very little CGI. CGI is used to enhance things, but they really crashed this plane. You know, all the action, all the stunts, everything is real. It's all practical, which you don't get much anymore. And I'm glad that I'm seeing, even before the virus pandemic, that people were kind of going back to practical effects again. I'm a big fan of old school filmmaking because of my age, mostly. But I also think CGI is a crutch, and I don't like movies that look overtly fake because of over CGI that defy the laws of physics, defy the laws of gravity, and defy the laws of logic, quite frankly. So Anyway, real quick, performances are rock solid. Elizabeth Debicki is great as Kat. She is married to our villain, played by Kenneth Branagh, who is Kenneth Branagh. Don't have to say anything else. The performances are outstanding in this film. The characters are a little thin, but the performances are fantastic. We also have Aaron Taylor Johnson show up as a soldier named Ives, who is also helping our two main characters, Neil and protagonist, along. And he's pretty likable too. There's a great scene with the three of them at the end that I really liked. Pattinson was rock solid. I was the whole time I'm watching, I'm thinking, is he going to pass as Batman? Is he going to pass as Bruce Wayne? I don't think he'll have a problem doing the action stuff as Batman. Still not sure he's Bruce Wayne, but the one thing he is a fucking good actor. That's for damn sure. And our guy here, John David Washington, who's the son of Denzel Washington, former football player. I think coming off the horrible news of Chadwick Boseman, Marvel losing the Black Panther, who was nothing but grace and dignity. We've found our new Black Panther. I think if Marvel does not give John David Washington a crack at the Black Panther, they have completely missed out. He is amazing. Again, would have been nice to know his name as a character, but we are along for the ride with him because you immediately like the guy, you immediately can identify with the guy, and you're riding shotgun with him the whole time. It's fantastic. He could, he's our American James Bond. Yeah, just loved him. The two of them had really good back and forth. I think the whole thing worked really well. This guy is fantastic. So, my complaints now. The movie's a spectacle, and I get it's a big concept, and I understand what Christopher Nolan's trying to do. He's trying to change the rules. He's trying to do something completely different we've never seen before. Mission accomplished here. There are certain things, though, I was confused several times, and I don't think I ever got over my confusion. And maybe that's by design, so I have to go and see the movie again or watch it multiple times on home video, what have you. But there are some things in there, even technically, that really bothered me. There are several scenes where, say, Neil and protagonist are talking about what's coming next or what they have to do, and the soundtrack is overpowering. The music is overpowering the dialogue to the point where you can't really hear what they're saying. There's even a scene where they're discussing their plans privately on a bus full of people. And again, the background noise and the music is overpowering them. What I did like about the music is that there are portions, because it's a time travel espionage caper thing. You're moving forward in time and backward in time the characters are going back and forth in time, sometimes parallel. And the music sounds like it's being played backwards at times, which is very cool. Again, though, it was just too loud and overpowering in several spots. And I mentioned earlier that the dialogue is awfully choppy and truncated between the two of them. I sometimes had trouble following the story. Luckily, the action following some of that dialogue catches you back up again. But the end, which I'm showing here, is definitely I was very lost. So that said, I appreciate Christopher Nolan as a filmmaker. I get it. At the same time, sometimes I think he's a little overrated, and maybe he's just reading his own press and he's buying into all the hype. He wrote and directed this film, and sometimes I think maybe they should have handed it off to someone else to give it a pass, and or find some people who want to come in and tell him to pump the brakes a little bit, or tell him, no, it's a bad idea to overpower your dialogue with music just to confuse the audience more. Sometimes you have to spell it out. Especially if you're releasing a tentpole blockbuster and you've got the popcorn chomping normies, right? They're not going to be as invested in the story. So if they're confused, I was watching the guy sitting 2 seats away from me, going back and forth and grabbing his head and what the hell. And, after it was over, we talked to each other and we were all like, yeah, it was great, but there was a lot of spots in there where it was like, what's taking place? So, I'm happy I got to go see it in IMAX. The cinematography is phenomenal. maybe if we weren't locked down for 6 months, I would have gone to this as a normal theater experience and walked out kind of disappointed. But because I was back in a theater again, I got the bombastic IMAX Christopher Nolan experience, big action, big sound, great acting, and stunning visuals. Maybe I was just okay with it. I'll give it a 3 out of 5, but it definitely requires 2 viewings to probably get the whole concept concretely. Maybe slightly disappointing, but that's my kind of review. I don't want to give anything else away. Definitely want you to check it out. If you're afraid to go to the theater, I completely understand and respect that. Some of you can't even go if you wanted to. I understand that too. So the minute it comes out on Blu-ray, take a shot at it, take a look, and be curious to know what you think. If you have seen it and you want to comment on what I said, drop a comment below, and we will see you again soon. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure you click the little bell icon to be notified anytime someone from our show drops new content here. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.